Welcome back to the Blerds, episode 4. Again, starring myself, and Liam.
Starring.
Yeah. Liam, do you have anything to say?
Why you got to line it up like that, man? Alright, so I suppose I better start from top. So, seems like I probably owe an explanation for some of the stuff that was said last week. In particular, if I say I don't care about something, doesn't necessarily mean I don't care about the people. Are you laughing for, man?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold it down.
If I say I don't care about something, it's not I don't care about the people involved. I didn't care about it enough to talk about it last week. So when I said I didn't care about the Harvey Weinstein thing, it wasn't I didn't care about what happened to the people involved. It was more I didn't care enough about it to have a conversation with you about it. But in the end, we talked about it for like 2 minutes anyway, so that was quite a ridiculous comment to make. But anyway, I apologise for anybody who feels like I didn't show enough care and attention to those people affected, but that wasn't the case.
Oh, well done, man.
Don't start that. Don't start that. Anyway,
yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you how your week was because I don't care.
Say I don't care about your week. Anyway, let's go. Let's crack on. Do you know what's
happened this week?
Yeah, do you know what I wanted to chat to you about? I know this is a minor. The people probably think, they don't care about this, but
it's the key phrase these days is people just don't care.
Yeah, today's keyword, don't care. I saw a video recently of Gucci Mane's wedding, and I don't know if anyone's familiar with Gucci Mane. He's a rapper. He's been around for some years. He's got a few hits out there. I can't think of one at the top of my head
because they're not really hits. But it's not my favourite artist to say that.
Yeah, and he had a real extravagant wedding. I don't know how many tiers this cake was, but when I watched the video, it was humongous. Apparently the cake was like $75,000 or pounds. One of the two, I don't know which.
Definitely weren't pounds, mate. What's the matter with you? I'm pretty sure they're not buying pound cakes over and over and
But the article I read, they could be like trying to...
They're not going to do that.
Equate it to what the British public will understand and you know,
Daily Mail. Was it Daily Mail that you read it in?
I can't remember when I read it, to be fair. But when I watched the video, it was insane. So for him to cut this cake, they had a sword. They had a sword. He had to reach the sword right to the top, where I didn't think he properly cut that cake because obviously he couldn't reach it and he couldn't, lay into that cake properly.
So what is your problem with this? What is your problem with this?
This is what grinds my gear about this whole thing. Yeah.
All right, Peter Griffin. God,
this is what grinds my gear. Yeah. Like, there's so much going on in the world. Like, so much. Like, it's times where all the storms are happening. Loads of people losing their lives. There's so much crazy things happening right now. And, is it right to have an extravagant party when, that $75,000, wherever it is, I'm sure it could have helped in some cases. And that's just the cake alone. I can't even question, like, how much was spent on the wedding itself. What do you think? Do you think I shouldn't care as much, or what? Am I mad?
You're asking someone you're basically, what you're doing is you're judging someone based upon the amount of money they've spent. And it's at the end of the day, it's their own, it's the money they've earned together or whatever from whatever they're doing. What's important to add here is that, first of all, that wedding was in Miami, so one of the main points that had the hurricanes. It's important to add that. I'm not saying anything. It had the hurricanes, however, but
wow,
there's nothing to say. Do not. I'm sure you remember there was a celebrity. What's the word I'm looking for? When they do that thing where they raise money. All the celebrities banded together to try and raise money together for this thing, right? So I don't know whether Gucci Mane or Keisha, whatever. I don't even know what. I don't even know these two, but I have to, for this purpose of this very podcast, you've got to do research. So I'm not even sure whether those two contributed any money towards it, but why is it for them to go and put money in there if they have or haven't already done so in terms of the donations? Why is it for them to go and put money in their pocket and take things of what is their wedding to then go and give the likes of me and you? Because if it was the likes of you and you, because me and you're going to be not unavailable, it's not down. It's not that. It's what, you know what? It's every down to every individual's being whether they're charitable or not.
Yeah.
You don't know whether he's already given money to charity.
No, you're right. I don't know, but
whether it's 75,000 or whether it's £5 or whatever.
But I just still feel like even so that we don't know what he's doing in charitable. I think to be like broadcasting there and going to that's length of
all right, fine. So that's
of glorifying all that stuff.
And
it's just,
in that sense, I agree with you. But to be honest with you, you know how many people that I know that watch? I'm gonna say, do you not watch that bullshit? That's as we talked about in the first week, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Right? And she had a lavish wedding herself. Remember that first wedding she had to that basketball player?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and that lasted for how long?
I don't know, a few weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, people like, and this stuff that they've done for Gucci Mane's wedding has been broadcast on BET. So people will watch it and watch that, and that's all it is to people, is that Gucci Mane will get money from BET for BAT. That's bats. BET. Gucci Mane will get money from BET for the rights to the wedding, and then they will broadcast that and they'll get the viewers in. That's all it is about. It's all about money. So the likes of Sharonda and Jane, all of them will sit down and watch this.
Yeah.
And it's called escapism. For them, they'll sit and watch it. If you get upset because somebody's not able to get money out of it because of that's down to government. And that's something separate. You can't always rely on the celebrities to pick people out of situations.
No, I get that, but my thought was it's like, all right, these things are happening, that's bad, and it's lives have been lost. Tone it down a bit, it doesn't have to be like
it's not gonna happen.
That many tears. It doesn't have to be cut with a sword. It's not,
Do you know what? I'm gonna counter.
Maybe that's just the only bit of the wedding that I've seen. But have you seen the pictures?
It sounds like it is.
Have you seen the pictures of them in front of the car?
Yeah, but that was pre-wedding stuff. Okay, listen, dude, you have to also understand that getting married now is getting married isn't necessarily about the marriage itself. It's literally about the occasion, the celebration. So most people now, unless you're getting married in a civil wedding or whatever, even though I can't even say that, but most people when they're getting married, they're not doing it for the piece of paper that is written on. They're doing it for the celebration. So they're going to want to put as much money as they possibly can to make everyone enjoy it. Furthermore, to counteract what you're saying about whatever, look, do you know the amount of rappers who spend all their life talking about banging this woman here and this woman there? For me, do you know what? For me, it's they spend all their life telling you, get with this girl and get with that girl, and that's how we grow up thinking. That's how we treat women in that way. For me now to see most of the rappers now that I at least I follow, most of them are getting married now. Yeah, so I ain't got a problem with it. If you want to spend $1 million in your wedding, it's up to you. If you can afford to do so, as long as I'm not paying for it, I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I ain't paying for it. So, do you know what I mean? Let the guy spend on what money he needs to do. Moving on from there. So what's happened this week? We also had, obviously, talking of controversies. We had well, I suppose we've got to touch on this one. Although I'm not saying I know too much about it. I can't remember what her name is now. I want to say Unique.
Oh, do you know what?
Let me just quickly check this because I don't want to get her name wrong.
It was very controversial, to be fair. And
right, so let's for those people who don't understand, we're talking about the FA having to come out and apologise to the two girls who go on, so I'll carry on because I'm trying to remember what's going on here. FA apology.
Yeah, they had to apologise to the two lioness, as they call them. Obviously, they're two footballers, female footballers, and they had an issue with one of the manager.
Okay, the girl's name was Eni Anoko. The manager's name was Mark Sampson. All right, cool. I remember this now. So Mark Sampson was the FA, was the England women's coach. I'm not going to say allegedly anymore because they've come out and said it's true. Yeah. So he must have gone on to say, so during the game when Enio was what's her name? Enia Luca was going onto the pitch. He must have said to her, she's got to play good or something like that. But some he made some comment about Ebola related to her being she's a
there was more comments as well.
Lady of colour. So anyway, they sacked him. Prior to that, they basically vindicated her and made out like a lot of her comments were without
was a lie.
Substantiated. Yeah. So a lot of people came out and made it. Even David James, for example. David James, I would class as a man of colour, even if probably mixed race. He came out and said on Twitter that why do all these people keep blaming race onto things? The only reason why you weren't picked is because of your ability, blah, 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 blah. That tweet has since been deleted because obviously this week the FA have come out and said actually there's proof to show otherwise that this guy has been doing and saying goodness knows what. So I'm glad they came out and apologised, but for me it's a little bit too late for that. Do you know what I mean? What he could have said could have really been classed as banter. Yeah,
it depends. Depends. If him and her weren't tight enough to have that level, there's some banters, you know, that you just can't have with someone if you don't have that tightness with them, and that is not even a good banter to have.
Right, but you're right, and I'm not saying when I say it's banter to him. Obviously, you've got to look at there are two sides to the story. Right? So to him, he may have seen that what he said is not is not that big a deal. To the average person or to you and I, yes, it is very offensive.
Yeah, they probably live in their own world, to be fair. Anyway,
well, this is the thing, and obviously we need to look at and question some of the things that we say. So I mean, I've got colleagues, for example, that I used to work with, that they get too familiar sometimes when there's some of the jokes they make. Now, if you're not the sort of person to put them up for it, what do? You let them carry on? I've had many incidents where someone's crossed the line.
Yes, I've had that as well.
Crossed the line.
They've crossed the line. It got so bad one time, I was ready to fight one guy that crossing the line. It was that bad. It was that bad. And there's occasions where I've literally just walked away from it and just say, look, they clearly know that it offended me for the fact that I've just stepped aside from this. So yeah, I have had a couple of occasions, a couple of brushes, but I think overall it's turned out okay for me because they've either backed down and understood they've done something wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they do that. I think the vast majority of those people who I can't even say that. I think those people who, right, so okay, for example, that person who made that joke at work and said to you that
we're not bringing that up.
No, we're not bringing it up, of course not.
Yeah.
The person who made that joke and whatever, I'm sure you and him weren't at a level where he could make that joke.
No, but he must have.
Do you honestly think that he, after whatever the reaction you made, do you honestly think that he realised I won't get across the line here?
I 100% think he realised he crossed the line because it got to a point where I was going to punch him in the face. He must have realised. If you don't realise you've crossed the line when someone's got their fist close to your eyeballs, then you've got problems.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Well, maybe that's me then. Maybe that's me. And I'll give you an example. There's a guy who worked at my last working place. Rather than going into the whole details of it, I'll tell you what happened briefly. He, if everyone in the office was doing it, they were just making jokes, and we were all throwing. Also, I worked in an office with one Muslim, one. He's not Polish. He's that's the worst thing to call somebody who's not. He's flipping Bulgarian. That's the worst insult probably can call it. But anyway,
this is gonna go. This is going. Not going the way we want it to.
I worked with one Muslim, one Bulgarian, one English guy, and obviously me, black. So between the four of us, obviously we've got a relationship that where either one of us can make certain comments, but obviously we know where the line is. Anyway, throw in somebody else in there who is not part of that group of four. He makes a comment, and his comment was related to the fact that something to do with me having gold teeth. Had some stereotype that he made. So yeah, I pulled him up for it. I pulled him up for it, and obviously he couldn't for the life of me understand why I was getting mad, because as far as he was concerned, that stereotype, he was willing to show me pictures of all the other black people that he knows who've got gold teeth. Yeah, you can laugh, but that's what it is. Yeah, so some people are that ignorant. Yeah, some people are that ignorant enough to believe that stereotypes are true, and if you get upset about it, it means you're being sensitive. Which is what I probably think this manager probably thought, oh, he can make that bowler joke, and it's just a joke. You're getting sensitive about it. What is a big deal?
Oh my god.
Yeah, if I complained, which I did complain to my manager about this, it didn't go to HR. It got covered up. Another one said about it afterwards. It's almost exactly the same sort of thing that the FA did. Yeah, they just covered it up now. Now they have to flip and make a thing out of it now. They have to apologise.
My one was a bit different because I took it away from the HR side of things. That's
because you're more aggressive than me, though.
I like to deal with problems head on. Like, if someone's been like trying something that's not right, I've got two avenues. I can either be relaxed and go through the proper channel, or deal with it how I see fit. And on that occasion, I felt I can deal with it myself. Which is
what, in fisticuffs? It has to feel the best way you think dealing with it is by fighting.
I don't know. It all comes from going to a boys' school as well. It doesn't help when you go to an all boys' school. Everything has to result in the fight.
Yeah, but as you get older, it's maturity. You mean to say to me now, somebody else did exactly the same thing that guy did to you at work, now you result in the same way? You'd have to result to violence and sort it out.
Don't forget, I was a bit younger then as well. So
okay, so I'm saying now.
Yeah, it's harder now.
How much younger are we talking? How much younger are we talking then, really? Not like it's 10 years ago, is it? You're full of it, mate.
Oh, man.
Clearly you don't want to talk about it, so let's move on from it. But talking of fighting. So obviously in the same vein as football, there was there was an incident yesterday involving Everton, and I think they were playing, I'm getting the name wrong, they were playing Lyon.
Yeah.
They were playing Lyon in the Europa Cup. Ashley Williams, one of the defenders, do you know what? He's a dickhead anyway, right? I've seen the video.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen the video.
What did he do?
They come for a corner, and the goal. You play football very badly, but you play football, right? Right, so
I'm not going to comment on that because anyone that knows and seen me play football, they have their opinion.
With your two left feet, but anyway, you play football, so you know how stuff works. The keepers now, it's quite tough for keepers now, because obviously when you're trying to keeper, you have to be careful because they're going in sometimes head first, feet first, whatever, right? So the keeper's gone in and challenged Ashley Williams. Ashley Williams retaliated with the keeper whilst keeper's in the air, and he's pushed the keeper mid-air and he's mid-drift. Falls to the ground.
No.
Which I can understand why the keeper's reacted in the way he has. He stood up, confronted Ashley Williams. All the Everton players and Lyon players are bundling together. Slaps were thrown, open hand slaps were thrown. because they're all tough men. And somewhere out of nowhere, this Evertonian, because he probably isn't Evertonian, his 3 to 4 year old son runs down the steps. The fan,
I saw that bit.
And goes to attack one of the Lyon players with his son in his son still has his dummy in his mouth. Why? First of all, why is the son not at home sleeping? Yeah. That's the first thing. Why are you bringing that young boy? Bring a child to football, mate. I'm not saying don't bring kids to football. I'm not saying that. But if the kid's young enough to have a dummy in his mouth,
he shouldn't be there.
He don't need to be there.
No, definitely.
Furthermore, you then don't bring him downstairs with you in a fracas, to bundle other people. So as a result of that, Everton, and rightly so, quick, this guy's been banned for life.
Not the son, just the guy.
Okay, sorry. Well, ban the son as well. Ban him. Should have been there. They don't know. He said, ban the son as well. Forget it. I don't care. Ban him too. No, but rightly so. And I think, you know what? The reason I bring this up today is because I said that the football culture, we'd have expected over the years for this to have changed. I know, but I thought it would have changed because
I don't know,
They don't have the things they used to have. We used to have West Ham and Millwall and all this gang and those children. They don't have. Well, they do have them. What are they called? Those are called
hooligans.
Not hooligans. They're called certain things. Their groups are called. They're called. Oh, again, the name will lose me again, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, they have their certain factions of fans, right? And all they do, they just go around from game to game fighting each other. And I would have thought, given the fact that there's so much police presence at these games now, and you've got CCTV, all different stuff, I thought that would have stopped. Or at least stopped from when it used to be.
Mm.
But it's not. Yeah, and it's not. And
you know what? That's funny you say that, because I do remember back in the days, my friend used to live near the Millwall stadium.
Don't even start on that.
That it was funny because all I hear is, they knew exactly when each match was being played. That's how bad it was. No one left their house when the match day was on. Nobody.
Of course.
And it was that bad sometimes. But that was way back then. I don't know. Maybe things have changed now.
Yeah, I don't think it has. I think that I would have thought it would have changed. I mean, it may have thing, but I remember you and I having a discussion the other day about, and again it's about fans. You remember the discussion we were talking about Lukaku?
Yeah.
Right, and we had this. Me decided to go and speak up. I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter, and that's a conversation. It wasn't a conversation. It was an argument. Because this person decided to say to me that the chant that they were doing about Lukaku, who's a black player playing for Man United, having a massive 24-inch penis, apparently that was okay to have. Yeah. And I'm trying to justify saying to him, no, it's not, because that stereotype has been passed down for years. It's not necessarily a stereotype. Yeah. That's anything. The guy was saying to me, he was an Asian guy, said to me, if somebody went to me to cricket, he's an idiot.
Oh my god! Let's
not
even go there.
That's what he said. That's what he said to me. I'm gonna tell you what he said.
Why would you want to go there?
Listen, I'll tell you what he said.
Let's just say he said a stereotype.
No, not stereotype. He said to me, if he's playing cricket and someone says that he's got a massive genitalia, he'll be happy with that. And I said, that's okay with you. If you're that upset about what you currently got, it's up to you. Yeah, but for you to go and pick out someone's physicality and that's the reason why someone's good or whatever, no. Fans do this now, right? They fight, they say stuff they shouldn't do, they're homophobic, they will bring up your personal life.
Yeah.
And where does what fans need to be held accountable for the stuff they do, which is why I'm glad.
Are you talking about PC? Did you say?
No, it's not talking about PC. Cause I'm not saying they can't say to somebody if Rooney's bored, which he is. If you want to cuss Rooney for being bored, or that he's had extramarital affairs with grandmothers, that's up to you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's being PC. But if Rooney was 4'2", and someone called him a particular name, which I'm not going to say now because I don't want to say anybody, then that's different. That might be PC and call accountability. It's different.
Okay, fair enough.
If you're going to run down the stairs with your kid in your arms, you're going to hit after somebody, and you deserve to be banned.
Yeah. And like, I've just been thinking now, obviously when you talk about fights and all that, and all the commotion, like, if you saw a commotion, if you was like in the scene, and you just appear on the scene, and it's a massive commotion, would you get involved?
Rephrase the question, because there's two different things there. You're asking me if I leave my flat and I go downstairs and I walk into something. Yeah. And there'll be people
already in like, imagine there's
that's different.
People.
That's different. It's two different questions to ask here.
Yeah, go on.
If you're saying to me, if I walk into something and I see something going on, am I going to get involved? Probably not.
Probably not.
If I walk into, if I'm already there, something kicks off whilst I'm there, then I probably will get involved. Because I don't know I don't know who. I'm not saying there's any reason to. There's no reason for me. There's no reason to fight anybody, no matter what. Right? For me, there is to fight anybody. Now, I'm not saying that because I walk to something I need to take sides. I don't know who's caused the problem or whatever. So I'm not going to go and get involved in something that I have no inkling about whatsoever. If I can see something happening in front of me and it's there and I can gauge
injustice.
It's not even injustice. It's just if I can gauge, even if someone has been in I'll give you another example. I saw a video 2 days ago. Yeah. Of it's on the tube in London, And this woman was getting shouted at by this guy. He was probably, in his 40s, 50s. And he was just shouting. And obviously she was backing away. It could have been her fault.
I think I've seen that video.
It could have been her fault, right?
Yeah.
It could have been her fault. But the way he was going on...
He didn't stop, did he?
He didn't stop. And
he took
it too far. Now, those people around...
Yeah.
There's one guy, even the guy who's filming it.
Yeah.
He had enough time... Dickhead that he is, I'm just going to say it. He had enough time to turn the video around and make a face to the camera, but couldn't be bothered to try and calm this guy down. Yeah. So it's all well and good doing that and filming it for people to see.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where they went too far.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the video itself was like 4 minutes long. I'm pretty sure it carried on after that. The guy was still going on. Clearly he had issues. He had some mental issues or whatever, or he'd been drinking or whatever. But the fact of the matter was that this woman, she stood and taken it for so long, and then she couldn't take any more of it. She backed away, and this guy was still going at her.
Still,
and nobody around said anything.
If I was on that tube, it would have been different.
Rightly so.
It would have been different.
But then you're saying that if you'd have got onto the tube when that was going on or come to the end of it, you'd have also got involved.
Yeah, I still would have got.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
This is the reason that I can't help it. If I see injustice anywhere, I will jump in.
Yeah, but you don't know what injustice is.
And if let me give you an example of what I saw and I got involved in. So I was approaching London Bridge from
this story. Oh my gosh, I remember this one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was coming up the escalator at London Bridge, and all I could hear was commotion, literally loads of screaming. There wasn't any guys screaming at all, but it was mostly women just screaming. And as I was approaching to the top of the escalator, I could see there's a crowd surrounding, just going around in, there's a commotion in the middle of that crowd. And looking over, I saw, two guys, what appeared to be at it, like two grown men, like in their probably late 30s, early 40s, two fully grown men at it. One of them had the other in a headlock, and he was just laying into him non-stop. The women were screaming, crying. And one woman was trying to stop it, but it was like she was just screaming, please stop. But he was not having it. He was just keep packing him in. Obviously, the first thing I saw instinctively, I didn't even think about anything. I just saw loads of people not doing anything. I mean, it was a crowd of 25, maybe more people. Not one person said or did anything. Yeah, and there was a fairly decent guys that could have done something. But when I saw that visually, I was just like, no, I can't sit there or stand there and watch that happen. So naturally, I ran up to the scene. The one that I thought was winning the fight was the one I need to stop. So I've gone and grabbed this guy by the shoulders, yeah, and I was yanking him off, the guy that he had in the headlock.
Pause. The terminology, man.
All right. I grabbed him on the shoulders from the back, as he had the other guy in the headlock, and I was pulling him off. Oh.
I just warned you about that.
Yo, but you should have said phrasing.
I just warned you.
Have you heard?
I heard phrasing. I just warned you about by saying pause.
Terminology. I was like, what do you mean? Maybe I can use different terms.
And yet you still use this different, but you said the same thing, but just use a different word. Brilliant.
Oh God.
So you pulled him off. Yeah, go on. I like the story. Yeah. So they made London. No wonder why they were screaming. Flipping out. These mother triggers were.
Oh God.
Someone goes in there to stop a fight and just pulls guys off. Mental, mate. Remind me right not to go anywhere with you ever again, yeah?
I can't even hold it together anymore. Oh, man. That brought a nice tear to my eye.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm trying to. I don't even know what to say. So I'm trying to stop this guy from punching the other one in the head. So he's literally just punch him in the head. Yeah. So eventually, when I pulled him away from the incident.
Hold on. Oh shit.
Oh man.
It's not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When I was managed to pull them away, then all of a sudden there's loads of wannabe heroes now. And guess where all these wannabe heroes went? They went to the guy losing the fight and trying to pull the guy losing the fight away after they've had enough. So I'm stuck with this one guy that's won the fight, my hand on his shoulder, and he's like, all right, mate, get off me now, get off me. And I'm like, oh, okay. But as I squeezed, like, because I was trying to get him off, shit! There's no way to get around it. There is just no way to get around it. And where it's going is just going to make it worse.
I can't do it anymore. I'm really sorry. You're just going around squeezing me, man.
It gets worse. He had so much muscles on his arm, yeah? I'm like, this is the guy that just won the fight, and he's like proper muscular. I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? I'm just the one guy with him trying to stop him from beating up the other guy. And the rest of them was hanging around with the one that lost the fight. But as the one that lost the fight was coming up, I realized how tall he was. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you let this little guy that I'm standing right next to, yeah, get you in the headlock and just punch the crap out of you, and you're 6'5" and he's 5'10"? How's that even possible? So obviously he went around he went his own business, and the guy that came up had all his nose was completely busted, blood everywhere. So for me, if I like, the point I'm trying to make is, if I see any injustice or anything happening, I think that I could prevent or help and stop,
all right,
I will get involved.
Devil's advocate on that one, right? So imagine that same scenario.
Yeah.
Right, imagine that same scenario, and you've gone in and done something like that, and the person who's losing, yeah, pulls out a knife, because this is the culture we're living in at the moment. Because not really now. That, how long ago was that?
That was a good 4-5 years ago.
Right, so in a matter of 4 or 5 years, people aren't really as much anymore using their hands to fight. Right, they're not. Maybe in this country they're doing so, but other countries they're not really doing so. Particular countries where you've got guns, it's got off at a tangent a little bit, right? Like, the youth now, they're not really, especially where the youth now are not really using their hands to fight anymore.
Yeah,
they're wets. They're you know what I mean. They're not, anything they can find to fight with, they'll fight you with.
Yeah.
But man's using their hands, they're not going to do that, right? So imagine in that same scenario, London Bridge or wherever, doesn't matter where it is, that one who's losing, right, sees the guy that you just pulled off.
Yeah. You're such a...
sees the guy you just pulled off, right? Or pulled away or whatever. And he pulls out a knife and he goes for you or goes for the other guy, and you end up being collateral damage in that.
Yeah, no.
That's the risk you're willing to take, right? So for me, like I said, in some you have to look at the situation every time and choose, and it has to be different for every situation. You can't always judge them by the same one.
No, you're right.
Say you shouldn't have gone in there and done something about it because nobody else was. But you came into that. For me, if I was you in the situation, I would have left it. That's me, because not every single thing you can stop.
No,
as much as we should.
Yeah.
You also have to remember sometimes that you can't fight every injustice. You can't do it. It can't be done. Yeah, for the basis of your own safety. Remember saying you've got a family and kids of your own, right? And yes, I'm not saying anyone needs to be selfish or whatever. But if that had been somewhere where you'd have been involved and it was there and you got involved, I'd have understood, because you were there at the time. But you walked into that. You have no idea what happened there. It could have been it could have been anything. One guy could have stole the other guy's. Again, I'm not saying he needs to bang the other one up to the point where he's having a fight, but it could have been any different implications as to why they were fighting in the first place. You do not know. I'm not saying there's a reason to fight, but sometimes we need to weigh it up sometimes before we make snap decisions, because you could end up coming off worse out of it. That guy could have turned around. For example, the guy that you grabbed, right? The guy that you grabbed, he could turn around and just, oh fuck, and he could have just elbowed you and knocked you in the face, and then what? And it could have knocked you out. And it's not worth it sometimes, man.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I just on that occasion,
I know sometimes it's a part of some people's. But I think not everyone thinks like you, not everyone thinks like me. So they'll just do. I'm pretty sure the people that would just walk past that and not done nothing about it.
Those people, like I said, I couldn't believe how many people was just staring at the whole situation and not doing anything.
It goes back to the thing we talked about the other day about consideration. Yeah, and this is what is clear to see in some particularly here in London, because obviously that's where we live. Because the consideration for others is something that is still lacking, and it's going to get worse. Yeah, people don't consider. People don't have any foresight about actions that happen. They don't care as long as if it doesn't involve them or their little bubble. They don't care. For example, there's a woman yesterday on the tube. She rushing to get on the I say she's in her 60s. She rushed to get on the tube, and she didn't check the step properly, and she took the step and she just landed on the platform, on the floor of the tube, right? So everyone's standing there looking at her, and she clearly cannot get up, and the tube doors are going to close soon. Everyone wants to get on the tube. People are getting on the tube past her, yeah, while she's lying on the floor. While she's lying, I'm saying, I can't make this up. And she's sitting and she's lying there, and I'm saying, if I was ahead of them, I'd have probably got her up, because I can't push past people to get to her. I'm saying to them, get her up. Why does it have to be me to go and say to them, to come and tell them to get her up? I have to say that. In order for someone to say that, everyone's looking at her like, oh, what do we do? And then someone gets her up, and then we go to change, go about business. But the point is that people just don't have that. They don't. Again, we talked about the beginning. People just do not care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care, and it's sad. It's sad, but do you know what? If any of you don't listen to this, sometimes just one good deed a day, man, is enough to.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Man.
Everything.
We're gonna go around in a bad mood. We all have our days where we're in bad moods, or we will do things. Right, but
I guess there's a moral to this story, isn't it? Like,
of course, the moral. Again, you have to be considerate. You can't always assume that. Last thing before we go, right?
Go on.
A couple of years ago, another transport story, because I seem to have loads of those. I'm going down the escalator, and there's a queue for the escalator, and this guy comes in on the left hand side. There's obviously a queue for it, and he wanted to try and be clever and try and cut in. So the guy ahead of me doesn't let him go past. So he sees the smallest gap possible in the world and cuts in front of me. I'm not gonna have this. Back then was a little bit more aggressive back then. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna have this. So I grabbed him up. On the escalators. And him and I grappling on the escalators. We're going down, right? I'm pulling his shirt. He pulling my shirt. I flipped his headphones out of his ears. He gets down. We get to the bottom of the thing. We calm down and stop now, right? Because what it is, he's hit me on the way down. Yeah. Because he's gone past and he's hit me. That's what set me off. So I grabbed him. So we're grappling on the way down. He gets to the bottom. He goes, "Oh, why'd you do that?" I said, "Because you hit me in the face." He goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to." I said, "Well, you did it." I said, "Well, no, you broke my headphones." And he's looking at his headphones, right? His face is all forlorn and sad. And I don't care, right? I don't care about it. He goes, "Oh, I've had a really bad day. I didn't need that." And to this very day, I still feel bad about that. Because he had a bad day. Yeah, and I could have made that worse by fighting this guy and breaking his headphones. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows what he would have gone home and done? He could have gone home, sorry to say, he could have gone home and abused his wife and his kids or whatever.
Just because of you.
No, what's the reason? But you don't know. But you have to give. But hold on, but you have to give that consideration.
Yeah.
Every time you have a go at somebody, right, or whatever, you don't know what effect it's having on them.
Yeah.
Until you're never gonna know. So we always have to try and at least be a bit more. Just a bit more nice to each other, man. It's coming from me to say that.
Oh no, that's shocking.
Coming from me to say that, I know that's a thing, but
yeah.
You know what? Every day you can try and do at least one little thing to try and make things better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll try and be nicer to you from now on. I know it's tough. As long as you don't go pulling men off. Yeah. Yeah. But,
and that was you being nice, yeah?
It's good advice. It's good advice. You actually want to get locked up. Yeah. They should have locked you up for doing that, man. Yeah. That's the real story here. Forget the guy fighting.
Yeah.
Man pulls the guy off in London Bridge.
Oh, man.
Alright, cool. Let's wrap this up for today.
That was a good one. I like this.
Alright, so thank you for listening again. It's episode 4. Bring it to the end of that. As we always do, we've come to if you want to send us we'll open it to you lot for coming up. Any comments, any topics you want to see discussed for next week. Drop us a message on Twitter at the Blerds, that's THEBLERDS, or send us a message on Instagram. As usual, the post will go up on Sundays if Sol can get his bed on time to get it done. It should also be on YouTube as well, but again, blame Sol if it's not. Apparently on Snapchat as well, but I don't even know what the point is, because I don't know the point. But we'll get to that at some point. And apart from that, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're on pretty much all the social media platform now, so it's pretty good.
iTunes and SoundCloud as per usual. Also, please, if you can, leave a comment on iTunes or let us know how you think we're getting on, and that would be great. Your feedback is muchly appreciated. Have a good week.
And from me as well, have a good week.